Well, from newsroom to motherhood, Amisha Sutton, Miss Mississippi American, is redefining what it means to lead, nurture, and inspire. A former TV news anchor turned new mom and wife, she's using her voice in a different way, showing Black women that every season of life carries purpose, power, and so much possibility. Joining us now is Miss Mississippi American, Amisha Sutton. Amisha, welcome to the breakdown.
Hi, Brittany. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be on the Black Star Network and also the breakdown. So, allowing you to share my platform on your platform is amazing. It's just huge. And I'm really blessed to just have the opportunity to share what this is all about.
Oh, this is amazing. Tell us a little bit more about um, you wearing a crown now. I mean, this is really full circle.
Yeah, it is full circle. And metaphorically, I look at the crown like, first off, I'm a child of God, so I wear that crown first. But it's developed into more of a platform where women are leading, not just in their homes, in their communities, but also their careers. So I was really interested or gravitated to the Mississippi American pageant because of what the system stands for. And it aligned with what I already did, especially coming from a news background and also serving in my community. So I look at this title as an opportunity for me to serve. But not just that, it really allows me to amplify the work that's already being done in the community. And Brittany, I know you have spent a stint here in Mississippi, so you know a lot of the things that are happening here, such as poverty, and education. Many of those areas, and including health, are at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to on the nation landscape of things. So when I looked at that, and this is not my first rodeo in Mississippi, I immediately wanted to jump in and again amplify platforms that have already been doing the work. So hopefully my platform can uplift those people. So that's one of the main reasons why I decided to jump into this role and this title, just to use my platform to already highlight things as well.
Take us back through your journey. I mean, as a journalist and now as a mother, tell us about that transition and what it taught you about purpose and identity.
Absolutely. Brittany, this is a full circle moment for me. I briefly mentioned that I lived in Mississippi before, and that was almost 10 years ago. And when I was in Mississippi, I was starting off as a young reporter, it, and I was chasing that dream, going after the news, and I really learned how to be a reporter here. And thanks to mentors like yourself, that really gave me a platform to jump in and just really do it. And I learned how to be a reporter. So that was my first stint. And how this also connects to my platform is at that time, being a young reporter, I didn't make a lot of money. And that came with a lot of responsibility, the role. But a lot of people may not have known that I was at a point of struggling, like trying to present the news and tell stories and narratives. But when I came home, I was eating ramen noodles, I was eating cereal at night, things like that as a professional. And that allows me to relate to some of the stories that I was telling as a reporter. So I would go to people and they would tell me that they were struggling, working class people struggling to make ends meet. They were struggling between getting food and choosing between their health care, or getting food and choosing between maybe having their lights on. And those were the stories I was telling. And I was also dealing with that myself. So my heart and compassion and empathy goes out to the working class people and those who are doing the work, but also trying to make ends meet. And that's why my platform of food insecurity through the Mississippi American pageant, or the system, is highlighting that. I plan to work along people like Love's Kitchen. I got my first introduction to Love's Kitchen as a reporter here in Meridian, Mississippi. And I saw the work that they do. They feed over 100,000 people a year. And on a daily basis, they're preparing at least 600 meals. So they're feeding people one time in the day and one time of the night. And my target demographic and audience, I have compassion for those who are unhoused and homeless, but it's really those working class people. And our economy right now is reflecting that gas prices are extremely high, groceries are extremely high, and there's a lot of instability. And there are people, that's Celine, my daughter.
Oh.
My daughter, she's just in the background. So if you hear
I
her,
love her.
that's a part of being able to balance it all. I mean, you have the title of being a mom, but also in being a professional, and then also this title of being Mrs. Mississippi American. So many different things. But to tie it in, Brittany, just back full circle, I believe that access to food is a way that we can solve a lot of the things that are happening right now. Just a really quick statistics: 1 out of 5 Mississippians, they are experiencing food insecurity, and 1 out of 4 children don't know where they're getting their next meal. And when you're not sure where you're getting your next meal, that can interfere with a child's education. That can interfere with a child's focus. So again, I plan to partner with many different organizations who are already doing the work here in Mississippi. And I got a chance to be boots on the ground and share those narratives as I was a reporter here. So my connections and people that I know, my network, were already hitting the ground running.
Amisha, I love to see you balancing motherhood and career right now. And I know that your daughter would love to be in your arms right now. And if you want to grab her, feel free.
I
And,
will. I will. Celine
can I
makes me
still ask you a
cameos.
question, though?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
We're interested in what it took for you to earn that sash. I mean, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I mean, like, look at you balancing everything.
Mm-hmm. Well, it took a lot of preparation, and Brittany, I have to be honest, it also took a lot of support. I do not have this sash or the crown without the community and without the support of my husband, Daniel. He was extremely supportive when it came to my goals and what it is I wanted to accomplish. He was behind the scenes, cheering me on, making sure that I had, again, the support I needed in order to show up fully present on that stage. Not only that, I had a community of people, sponsors like the city of Meridian. They were supportive of me. As soon as they knew that I was running and I was Mrs. Meridian, they were like, we align with you. We align with your morals and your mission. And they were a huge sponsor for me and support system. And my parents, they are in Illinois. They drove 8 hours to be here for the pageant, just to make sure that I had additional support. So it really took a village of people. That the images that you're seeing are just me on stage, and those who were not able to be in the state of Mississippi were definitely supporting me online, virtually. I received the Fabulous Face Award, which is an online voting system. And this is just me reaching out to all of my friends and supporters and people who have been following my journey across the nation. They voted and they showed up. It was $2 a vote. And in the history of the pageant system, I received the most votes that they've ever had. And I do have that plaque just right here. So this, not only just the title, this plaque here just serves as a fabulous face, shows that people, when they believe in your mission, they're behind you. So I show up with not just myself, but when I was on stage, I had many other people that I was representing that night. And I'm very happy and excited that people are supporting me, but I was able to show up for them.
Yeah, Misha, I mean, pageantry is often misunderstood.
Absolutely.
And as long as I've known you, I've never known you to be a beauty queen, if you will. So tell us what kind of discipline and preparation goes to competing at this type of level, especially when you just had a baby.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brittany. I appreciate that. I haven't been in the pageant world. This is other than a pageant that I did many moons ago when I was in high school. It was Miss O'Fallon. I have not done a pageant since then, but I knew that it was more along the platform. I know a lot of people think pageants, you think beauty, and that does play a factor, but I think it's more the overall package of what you are bringing to the table, and not just your grace, your elegance, how you treat people, how you show up in rooms. All of those things are factors that judges look into, and the pageant is 50% of interview and 50% of how you appear and show up on stage. And I believe my interview that went really well. People were able to take away pieces of me. So a bit of my background in journalism prepped me for the interviewing process because it's something that I've done for many years. Also, just being able to speak to people and just be myself. So I think that was a big part of it. And as we are carrying the title now, upcoming is national. So I will be competing in Vegas against all of the other Mississippi, or excuse me, Mrs. Americans across the nation. So from Texas to California to South Carolina to New York, all of those women who won their state title will be competing. And if the Lord wills, that woman or myself will go on to compete for Mrs. World. Currently, Mrs. World is in Thailand. So there is a lot of discipline and preparation. But as I mentioned early in the conversation, the pageant system is about women who lead in their homes, in their communities, but also in their career. So leadership is a quality that I have of myself. My home is something that I take pride in, and my community is something that I'm a servant to it. I've been a servant for a long time. Journalism is a love of passion, but also servitude. So those things that have built me as a person definitely leveraged me to be able to show up in this pageant in a way. Beauty is there. Beauty is fleeting, but it's really about the work and how you're going to represent your community. And I believe that they saw that within me. So I appreciate that question, Brittany.
Mm-hmm. Now, before I let you go, Amisha, any words of advice to Black women, little girls that are looking up to you?
Like this little girl here? Yeah,
Yes,
of
please.
course. My advice, and this is something that Daniel, my husband, we talked about that support. We've adapted to just do it. As a Black woman, I believe that sometimes there are a lot of stigmas and things that say that we can't. And I remember having conversations with more of my melanated brown friends who would tell me that they would be scared to wear red lipstick. Something as simple as wearing red lipstick because people would say that it wasn't for brown skinned women. If you want to wear the red lipstick, wear the red lipstick. So that is just the do it mentality. If you want to be, show up 5 months after having a baby and present yourself on stage, do it. If there's something that you want to do now, despite any of the barriers, any of the old, I want to say maybe like things that people would say that you can't do, I would just say, just do it. And especially for the little Black girls. My goal is to give my daughter an environment where she knows no boundaries. And if there are boundaries, then break those glass ceilings. That I want her to have a mindset that no matter what her skin complexion is, you can never outperform excellence. So always strive for excellence. That's something that I remember Gail King saying, that when you are a woman of color or a man of color, as long as you strive for excellence, that will always be the barometer. And people can never argue with excellence. So in everything that you do, and I'm also reminded by Dr. Martin Luther King when there's a famous speech, and it's in regard to a broom sweeper. If you are sweeping the broom in wherever facility that you are, whatever job that you are, be the best broom sweeper. Do it with excellence and serve. So that would be my advice. Just do it, and also do it to excellence.
Amazing. Amisha, thank you so much for sharing time with us, you and Celine. We appreciate you, Amisha, for showing us what it looks like to walk boldly in every single season of your life. Amisha, thank you so much for joining us on The Breakdown.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And do you know